Greetings, everyone. So I got the windows open. I got some background music for StreamYard while I was waiting to set up playing. Let me see if I can turn that off. Okay, go stop. Yeah, go stop. And did a little change in the background. If you notice, I got the banners from last year's Joe Fest. I got to work on some new ones for this year. And new ones will show other kinds of aliens, other kinds of astronauts. And but I had those banners up close, but they're too tall. You can't even see the word conspiracy on top. But being in the background with behind the table, you can't really see much of the wording. But so I really have to alter and change this room some. It's kind of small for what I need, you know. But well, you know, gotta make do with what I got. So no complaints or anything like that. There, just it is small, you know. The VSS is not going to fit in this when I make the VSS longer because it is going to be twice as long. And with the engine component that you see there is going to be basically 2 feet longer than that. So it's about 4 feet long. So it'll be 8 feet. So it'll be 10 feet approximately. There still is the engine thruster parts that stick out further than the engine room component. So at the end of the day, I'm probably going to put the VSS in segments on a shelf and just stack them up. Or I'll have to move them to the outside room. So at that point, you won't see the VSS here anymore. But that's what, you know, a year from now, 2 years from now, maybe longer. Because I'm trying to catch up to where I left off with the VSS from last year. And so there are some redesigns. So I'm working on all of that right now. But I am going to Frankenstein this. So I am going to take out the Dremel, most likely over this weekend. And I decided I'm just going to just trim off some plastics here and trim off some plastics a little bit here and there. But I'm going to try to keep these sections on top because I was looking at them and I'm thinking they're not really bad and they're kind of strong. I do have to repair some pieces, and the only way to repair would be to cut and make this flat, and to kind of I can work with this even though that's a little damaged, and then just kind of work around it. So I will have to make some custom pieces to look like they fit in, you know, that kind of thing. And so I will bolt it down with some screws. Those will be the exceptions. And then from that point on, going forward, everything will be the new components. So if you've been following the video, this video series in doing this assembly guide, I have been showing a little bit from time to time that the new stuff is going to have screws to bolt everything together. And so that's what you see there. So I'll be using these, and that will make everything a bit easier to disassemble and then reassemble. I'm also doing other little changes here and there to the body of the MDF wood. But that's going to be all for future videos, future broadcasts. And I'm going to try to change up my style when it comes to these broadcasts. Most likely for stuff like this, I'm going to do recorded content and then do like a time lapse and show, like, you know, 2 hours worth of work, you know, condensed to like 1 minute or something. So So let's see. Moving on. What did I say this video was going to be about? It's going to be hopefully the last section of this assembly guide. I've been trying to get this thing out like ASAP. Yesterday I got a little bogged down. Today I'm going to try to do the finishing parts. So I have located one previous assembly guide document that I worked on. Well, I'm kind of working on it. And so I'm taking the text, the verbiage that I use there as boilerplate, and I'm just going to copy and paste. And I've done that already right before going live with this video. And it's got some pictures for like to glue and not to glue, and little icons. I updated the software Affinity Publisher. Unfortunately, the software is not completing the registration point. So I've registered the software and stuff like that. So I go and tell the thing to, to sign me in, and the thing times out. It's waiting for a ready state, and I'm not going to reboot the machine right now. So I'm just going to work with whatever the software throws at me. Most likely the software is not going to complain. There's usually like a grace period with this program. So if you download Affinity Publisher or Affinity Designer, and you haven't signed up for it, you haven't paid for the product, and you just want to experiment and see, they allow like some sort of grace period so you can test out the program and everything, full featured, and as far as I know. And if you like it, all you have to do is just register. It's like $50, and you just register. You get an email with a registration code. You put that into the program, and you got the whole thing, full featured, everything ready to go. So that's what it's been like for me. And every time I upgrade, the upgrade has been seamless. I go to upgrade, the thing asks me if I want to sign in or register, and I just say sign in, and the thing goes through the sign in process, and I'm in. But there was a little glitch. Timed out. I don't know why. Everything else seems to be working quick on my internet. I got the windows open. So I got some blinds behind me, behind the camera. So that thing might move the camera from time to time. If it gets too noisy or too problematic, I'll just close the blinds. And so let's see, what else? Other little things that was on the news for figure collectors is Hiya Toys is getting into the 1/18 scale G.I. Joe stuff. So the last time I paid attention to Hiya Toys, they had released some aliens from the movie Aliens, alien figures, the xenomorph type stuff, and they had released the Marines from that movie, and people had received like a $200, $300 or something like that APC from the movie. Everything looked high quality, lots of details. I don't have any idea of the quality of the plastics or the quality of the workmanship because I was doing other things with my budget, so I didn't have a budget for it. So I skipped out. I'm going to close these blinds. Yeah, I'm just going to close it a little bit because it is kind of warm in here. Okay, hopefully that's better. And so I missed getting these figures, alien figures from Hiya Toys. So I really don't have any first-hand knowledge of the quality of the plastics, if if they're delicate, if they get brittle or anything like that. So I've been asking around, and some people say that they're delicate, but do they become delicate over time? I have some old BBI figures bought from Target and things like that, and the plastics that they used were nice and detailed and everything, but the plastics themselves became brittle over time. So their thumbs begin to break, their wrists begin to break. They try to move, make a swivel action, and they break off. There's I don't know what kind of plastics that Hiya Toy uses, but I'm going to try to get these Joes and do reviews and things like that, so y'all get to see. Maybe I should change the name of the channel from DioWarriors TV to something like DioWarriors Lab, or like Laboratory, or DW Lab, or something like that. Where I can set up camera and look down, and here's an assembly, or here's a figure review or something like that. But then again, too, I'm beginning to hear things from content creators on YouTube that there's some sort of bill being proposed to offer even more restrictions for things like child safety and things like that. And a lot of the stuff is subjective. It's like there was this 2 years ago, there was this push to restrict videos for age content, things like that. So a lot of toy creators that do reviews on toys specifically closed or restricted their video content for age restrictions, things like that. So there's a lot of changes coming to YouTube for toy stuff that may make things harder for people to do reviews and not be liable for whatever, and so that's always a thing. So anyways, keep in mind that might be something that affects DioWarrior TV later on, or something like that. Who knows? I hope that bill, or whatever it is right now being proposed, does not get passed. So okay, so getting started is about 15 minutes into this broadcast. I am going to resume more or less where I left off yesterday. So I'm going to begin by sharing Affinity Publisher. Window and share. I got SolidWorks in the background. I did an update. I guess I can do. I guess I could do that update now. I could go and just put this. It is tube support or something like that. Yeah, right here. Found it. So I go open. Go open. And I'm just going to. Oh, this is text box. I don't want text box. Yeah. Delete. Gotta do it again. This. Go open. Okay. So this is one component that I forgot to do as a picture yesterday. I'm going to just call it Tube Support C, because that's the file name. Tube Support C. And so anyway, this is the verbiage that came from another project I went ahead and started to I don't know, well, maybe on some of the stuff I need to cut and paste into another text, copy, delete. I don't know. Well, yeah, the bad thing about when you cut and paste other stuff, from other projects, is you tend to forget if they were linked to other objects, like other text fields. If you don't use a publisher program, basically the idea for them is that they give you these text box objects, and so you can control the layout by changing the shape of the text box itself. And if you have text that is too long for the box, the idea is that you can link one box to another box, so that way you could have text on one page and then continues onto another page, or continue several pages away, and so it really helps to do complicated brochures or documents, things like that, using this type of approach. I am going to simply paste what I just copied. It wants to. So let me just see what I got. Okay, I'm moving it off of the page, and I'm just going to expand everything. It still keeps everything close. Maybe it also saved the linkage. Can I cancel the linkage? Can I simply bring up another text box and redirect the link? Oh, I see what happened. Remember when I first started this, I was inserting the picture. Well, apparently when I went to put the picture in, I guess I needed to click off of the text box, and I didn't do it, and so it associated the picture within the text box itself. Assembly process. Okay, so this is where, okay, so things are fixed. Okay, anyway, so now I can move on some. Of course, I changed the document's margin, and so I wonder if I can fix that right now, just saving this document. Where would I go to change view masters? I think I need to go to somewhere under here, under files, and maybe under document setup. Yeah, say it's under inches. I don't want under inches. I want it under millimeters. I don't see margins. But anyway, I think I'll try to just move on. But Well, I couldn't just simply make it easier for me and just follow the margins that I have here. Yeah, I think I'll just make it easier for me and just follow the margins I have here. So these. So what I'm doing, I'm using master pages for overall visuals, overall style. So these, this is the master page here for these borders that I'm doing. So that inner blue line is the page margin, and all objects, with some exception, have a border that's indicated by a blue rectangle. So I go to master page A, it's like that. B is like this. I can change the upper titles here, and so when I go to this page, I can leave this one alone. This one is it's a unique style. When I go to here, I can change the. I want to just make things centered. Leave a little bit of space for if I want to do something in the future. So because I'm doing all of this, this is like, for actual production stuff, I'm going to be including, once I get done with it, I'm going to be including it for an order. What you see is, what it really takes to do stuff like this. I'm not going to be, I'm not like, I'm going to, just do something for the video and then do something else for the actual customer. This is actually going out. So I'm doing all of the proofing and everything right now. I'm reading the how to assemble section. All parts of the kit can be assembled without cutting. Adjustments can be achieved by sanding. If a part is too tight to assemble, try sanding it slightly until it fits. It's too tight to assemble as is. Then try sanding it slightly. This kit also requires glue to completely assemble. Although some parts may fit tight enough without glue, it is advised to use glue to build a secure assembly. That is true. So yeah, so a lot of the stuff that I do is designed to fit very tightly. And but some things, especially if it's handled a lot, can get loose. Plastics can wear and tear. I want to make sure that this how to assemble is in bold. All of this needs to be, I need to change the font, Arial font. 12 point. Hopefully it's not too big. Arial font. Something seems odd, you know. Maybe I can make it 13 point. I guess 12 points is okay. So much wind, it blew closed the window. I'll just close it. Tighten it. Let's see. So, okay. So let's do this. Let's do this as bold. Should it be underlined also? The symbol. Yeah, that makes it look a little bit more formal, huh? Okay. Gluing tips. Make it the same size. This is what I think is the fun part of all of this. Making everything make sense, trying to be as specific as possible. And so this is where I have fun. 12 points. Let's do bold and underline. Save this too. So super glue and model cement tends to work for this kit, which is true. I've noticed that model cement tends to melt plastics. So with these plastics that we use, model cement can melt it a little bit. So when the model cement cures, dries, whatever, you have a fusion of plastic. So it's not like a regular glue that simply is an adhesive. This will actually fuse the plastics a bit. It's not a very tight or very good fusion. You know, it's modeling cement. But that's the way it works. Super glue, on the other hand, is an adhesive. And so between the two parts, you know, it's a small layer of adhesive that's joining the two parts together. Okay, so, but they do tend to work with these types of plastics. Please take caution when gluing near transparent parts. As super glue, one word or two words. Computer, spell super glue.
Super glue is spelled S-U
separate words.
E-R space G-L-U-E.
Okay. Super glue and model glue. I guess I need to capitalize. Oh, both super glue and model glue. Okay. Can leave a vapor trail. A bit of masking tape can shield against the vapor. When using model cement, please allow extra time for the glue to fully dry. As always, please follow the safety and usage guidelines for whatever glue you use, or whatever glue or adhesive you use. I guess glue and adhesive the same thing, huh? Always glue with proper ventilation. Okay, that should be good. A little bit of space. Go to the next. So right now I'm broadcasting on Facebook and DioWarriors store, Facebook in my personal wall or timeline, and YouTube. So there's different kinds of privacy policies being used. When it comes to comments, I can see comments fairly quickly with using StreamYard for the broadcast. And so YouTube, you know, if you comment in YouTube, I should be able to see it basically on my screen when it gets posted to what I see on StreamYard. On the DioWarriors store and Facebook, it should be the same way. But on the personal Facebook timeline or wall, Facebook wall, the privacy policies are different. So if you comment to this video in my on my Facebook wall, it will not show on StreamYard. So I will have to actually go to Facebook to see if there's any comments, which I am going to do right now. And since I haven't checked it since starting the video. Okay, I'm going to go update, refresh the page. Okay, no comments yet. And StreamYard, I'm in the comments thing. Okay, no comments yet. Okay. So getting back to this. Okay, so smoothing and layer lines. Well, as you know, with 3D printing, basically no matter what 3D printing technology you use, with some exception, you're going to have layer lines. And that's because of the nature of 3D printing. Essentially, the nature is you put down a layer of whatever material, you wait for it to dry, to cure, whatever, and then you can put another layer on top. And you keep repeating this over a pattern, and you end up making a 3D shape. So it could be plastic, it could be resin, it could be paper mache, it could be wax, it could be all kinds of different materials, it could be metal, but it's still the same. And in every case, you do get layer lines. There's a number of different ways to remove layer lines. Some people use thick coats of paint. Some people use Bondo, and then they sand over the Bondo. Some people put, they'll take resin from a 3D printer, and they'll paint over it, and then they'll use UV light to cure that on top of a plastic object. You know, so there's different techniques. So what we do in DioWarriors is we do use resin from time to time, not as much as in the past. And so we do use more FDM type printers. So we basically using plastics. And those don't really have the super high resolutions as a resin printer would, but it costs less to do a part. So we can keep costs down. But there's different materials that we can use with those plastics. So we tend to use two types of plastics. Commonly PLA. So when you get like a gray object from us, it's going to be, most likely it's going to be a PLA plastic. And it's going to have layer lines. You can rub with your fingernail and you can, see it, you can feel it. Sometimes it doesn't look too bad. And over time, we've learned different techniques to minimize the layer lines, but you still have them. Like I said, there's different techniques to get rid of them if you really want to. And then the other plastics we use is a PVB type plastics that we put through an extra process. So typically, when you get plastics like this, actually, can you see what I'm doing? Yeah, okay. I made the mistake of assuming StreamYard was showing. So typically, if you get plastics in this kind of color from us, or in this type of orange and things, basically in non-gray, sometimes in blacks, sometimes in white, not always, okay, but usually it'll come from us more smoother than normal. Is because we put the plastics through a different process to, I don't want to say remove the layer lines, because they still are there, especially if you take a magnifying glass. But it suppresses the layer lines to a point where it looks smooth, it feels smooth, to a point, There's a give and take on the details. I can make a part extremely smooth, and it will remove a lot of the details that you as a customer would probably want. So I say all of this because if you want to go beyond the smoothing that we do, you can do it yourself. And the plastics tend to react with rubbing alcohol. So 70% alcohol is fine. Higher alcohol content is fine. And what I would do is just take like a cotton swab, even a paintbrush or something like that, if you want to sacrifice the paintbrush, and or even a piece of paper like a napkin or something like that, and a kitchen towel type paper. And I would just soak it with some alcohol, and I would just rub until you start to see an effect. And when the alcohol evaporates away, the part will get kind of tacky. So when the part is no longer tacky, then you can touch stuff. As always, be cautious. Don't touch your face, touch your eyes, that kind of thing. Take precautions, because it will be alcohol, and it will be a little bit of plastic residue. So so I would take cautions to protect sensitive areas of your face and things like that. But if you don't trust yourself or something like that, so here's the disclaimer: is don't do it. So anyways, it's possible to go even beyond, but as always, take caution, take protective measures, wear protective equipment, gloves, things like that. Treat it like it's more serious than the pandemic. Okay, so and practice common sense as much as you can. So so it is possible to go beyond and customize the pieces even more. But we try to find a nice balance of everything. So we try to suppress the layer lines to a satisfactory point, so you don't have to go the extra mile and do any additional work. It should be out of the box when you get it. It should be suitable for painting. So so if you're a customizer, you should be able to paint the thing. So it's all up to you. To me, I like the way this grayish bluish plastic looks, and so I tend to leave my props unpainted. And so that's the reason why when you see a lot of the photos and stuff that I do, I'm still using keyboards in this color. For example, I'm using typically gray stuff. I'm typically using things like this that has this type of color. Part of it is to show this is what you get, directly from us, and part of it also is I like how it looks. So I don't go any further with painting. But it is optional. It is possible. So with that said, let me continue. I think I'm going off on a tangent. So let me get back to this. So it is the nature of 3D printing to make an object by fusing material layer by layer. The process generates layer lines. There are a number of ways to reduce layer lines: sanding, surface priming, and specialty plastics. This kit also contains specialty plastics that have been additionally treated to reduce layer lines. Maybe not. This kit may also, I would say may also, because this is a boilerplate. They also contain boilerplate verbiage. They also contain specialty plastics that have been additionally treated to reduce layer lines. To reduce, suppress Stay suppressed. For parts that have not been additionally treated, traditional methods of sanding or using a surface primer can be used to reduce layer lines. Please visit the DioWarriors store for additional information. Okay, so that gets to the point. Let's see, I want to a little bit of room, and I'm going to move up this text box. I want to make sure that I'm using Arial font, and it's 12 points, okay. And I want to make painting in bold and underline. Okay. So I'm going to save this. So painting. Plastic parts can be painted using spray paint or brush paint for model kits. The plastics have been tested with acrylic, enamel, and lacquer paints. And in all my testings, the plastics work well. Acrylic does work well. It depends a lot on the brands. The thinner the acrylic, the harder it is to make a good paint. So I usually do multiple layers on acrylic. If it's spray paint, it's a different issue. Spray paint tends to do well on the first pass. Enamel works well with these plastics also, and lacquer paints works the best. I've always been happy with lacquer paints with PLA and PVB. Pre-paint washing is not required. We don't use any lots of times in, like, when you buy a model kit or something like that, they have some sort of mold release, or there's some sort of grease involved or something left over from the manufacturing process. We don't use anything like that. We do use spray paint, not spray paint, sorry, hairsprays to keep certain parts on the build plate, but it's not thick. When I pull the pieces off, if it has spray paint residue left over, it's not going to interfere with the painting, and it's going to usually be on the underside anyway, the ugly side. So if you want to, you can always sand the underside of it. But there's no manufacturing grease or glue stick. That's another technique people use often with 3D printing. They'll put the glue stick on the build plate and they print on top of that. We don't use glue stick. I got one printer that will require it, but I haven't used that printer in a number of years. It's a good printer though, but essentially I don't use it. Okay, so pre-paint washing is not required. Do not use alcohol on specialty plastics. Yep. So plastics like these, don't use alcohol. It will dissolve away the plastic over time. Let's see. They have been post-treated for smoothing, for suppressing. I want to use the word suppressing. I think it's more accurate than saying removing or something like that. They're layer lines. Avoid alcohol on acrylic parts. True. Acrylic, you can fuse acrylic. You don't glue acrylic. You use a solvent to fuse acrylic to acrylic. So the solvent works the same way as model cement. And the way it goes is that it makes small little micro cracks, micro fractures on the surface of acrylic. And so that's the reason why you need to have a very smooth surface with acrylics to fuse another acrylic to it. And so when the solvent, dries, evaporates away, whatever, you have a fused surface between the two acrylics. Well, alcohol does the same thing as solvent. It will generate small micro cracks, and on a brand new piece like this, for example, I can see someone using alcohol on it, one time, rubbing it, getting any kind of fingerprints or any kind of smudge off of it. Yeah, I can see that would work. But what would work better was simply just use like a microfiber cloth or something like that. Cotton, a t-shirt would work, and you don't risk getting any type of micro fractures, anything like that on the surface. I do have a 3D printer, one of my resin printers. It uses the orange cover on top, and I didn't really know this about alcohol, and there was a crack that was on there, so I thought, oh, I'm just going to use some alcohol, oh, no. There wasn't a crack, there was a smudge. So I said, okay, I'll just use, but the smudge was right next to the hole for a screw. And so I used some alcohol to get rid of the smudge, and I, buffed it away with a shirt afterwards, or some paper or something like that. And then when the alcohol evaporated away, I went back and I took a look, and I saw, hey, there's this like white ghostly smudge. It's not part of the original smudge that was there. What is this? So I used alcohol again, and I did it again, and I noticed that the smudge began to grow. And then next thing you know, there was a crack developing from the screw hole that was there. So it started to make a crack, and that crack grew. And only till later I finally realized it's being caused by, first of all, that part has stresses, and so the alcohol made micro fractures that, how would I say, that the stresses took advantage of and made a crack. So, so lessons learned: don't use alcohol with acrylic. It's not a good idea. So, okay, continuing. Take care when adding a top clear coat. Yeah. Always follow the safety and usage guidelines for paint. Yeah. So sometimes, spray paint can be toxic. So use good ventilation. Lacquer paints, acrylic, not acrylic so much, but I wouldn't want to, breathe acrylic too much. Enamel paints, have an odor. Lacquer paints have an odor. So I would just, just err on the side of caution, and always work with the safety guidelines for whatever paint technology you're using. So, safety first. Sounds like a cliche, but it's, we want to make things enjoyable for a lifetime, and we don't want anything to compound anyone's health. So moving on to Splinter Warning. This is another one to be aware of. Bold and underlined. Okay. So splinters is an issue. We do laser cut wood, but there's always the possibility of splinters with wood, always. So if you get a wood part from us, always assume there's going to be splinters. So take caution. Examine the parts. Remove splinters. What are you doing? Sanding on anything? Be aware that may generate splinters. So always take caution with that. Always. Also, you may not realize, but 3D printing can generate splinters. So here are some, let me bring up the browser window so I can see. Let me make it bigger so you guys can see. So this is right off the printer, on one of the printers. Okay, I need to clean it up. This part is going to be nice and smooth for the most part when I get done with it. But this is just an example. I think, in my opinion, this part is going to be a safe part, but you do have other items that are going, because what makes this part extra safe, I think, is that it's going to go through the smoothing process. So splinters are going to get removed chemically, essentially. But you can see that, there's little wisps of plastics and things. And, oh, now it's at it focuses, huh? Now I move it away. So then you have other objects like the bottom of a console. These things will get, this one is fine, okay? But there's times where you do get splinters with these kinds of plastics. And I do my best to go in and remove them. But be aware, you may still get them. You may get them in between openings. You may get them in places where you wouldn't expect. So always make sure that that it's safe for touching. You may want to see about sanding, extra sanding. You don't want to do that with your finger like I'm doing here. This one I can see it's got no splinter, but you don't want to take a chance. And splinters from plastics, can be hard to see when they're in the skin, especially gray. So I've gotten splinters in my thumb a few times. I sit there with a magnifying glass, and I just keep working at it till it comes out. So just be aware that 3D printed plastics may have splinters. So I do my best to get rid of them, but take the extra precaution and always make sure that it's safe for handling when you get the item. Okay, so now getting back to this. Oh, hey, a little bit bigger, so I'll do it like that. Okay, so that's the splinter warning. Take caution with wood parts and sand away splinters. Some plastics may also have splinters, especially if the plastic surface is rough. So, like I said, pick off the splinters, things like that. Now, of course, everything we design, we don't design for the child. We design for the adult collector, really. So always, there's always choking hazard, small parts hazard, things like that. So ages 15 and up, things like that. So it's boilerplate, but always be safe. Let's see, and of course, if the person who is going to be messing around with any of our stuff is not competent enough to mess around with it, please keep it away. Or if you have any doubt, just keep it away. Okay, so enough said about all of that. Let's so here's I still need to determine, like, these are the graphics that's going to be used. Maybe I need to put it into like a legend area. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to lay it out, but I am going to have to come back and forth to this to specify glue and not to glue. So let me just copy these things. Copy. Okay. So now the actual fun stuff begins. I do need to go in after this video and just kind of play around with the layouts, get rid of blanks like this if I don't need them, and move the layout around. I'll leave that for later because what's going to happen is that I'm going to move this out, and then I'm going to spend time, move these things around. And I'm sure you guys are not interested in watching me do this over and over. So I'll leave that for later, after the video. Most likely, I'm just going to cut this area off with another line and begin the step 1 stuff, maybe beginning here, or maybe just going to the new page. Probably just leave it on at the new page. So okay, so let's see. Step 1, launch tube assembly. What I need to do here, I want to keep this one very simple. Take advantage of so much page real estate. So I'm just going to have 2 images here. Do I need to identify this is like a sub step? Like this is step 1.1, 1.2. Not sure yet, but let's see. I'm going to paste these things here, and I'm going to. This is what's called a group. I'm going to make this, just ungroup it, just so that it's the image, and I'm just going to reduce the size of this a little bit. I hope this is actually a vector. So a couple of years ago, I made vector graphics of these things, and so I'll put glue here, copy, and yeah, I'm going to do another one, glue here. I'll try to do like glue and glue. Maybe I can move this one like that. Like that. Let me zoom in. Yeah. So it's been a while since I had to do arrows. I think the only way I can do arrows is taking this arrow tool, making a very thin arrow, very small arrow. Don't want to make it too small, especially that I zoomed in. I want to remove one arrow head, and I want to say thickness 35%. I guess that's good, I suppose. Color, let's make this black. So I want this to be solid. I want this one to be black. So let's just say this is RGB. Well, better if I could just do grayscale, huh? Let's just do RGB. So red, green, blue, all 0. That will make it black. So it's now black there. Now I'm going to make the outside border white. So 255, 55, and 255. And I'm going to make the border a little bit bigger. How do I do that? It's been a while, it's been a while. If I make this one just as an experiment 2, what gets bigger? So if I make it 3, is this the white section? Well, let's just make it 4. That's the white section getting bigger? Yeah, okay. So let's try 1. And let's reduce all of this down to something like that. Now I'm just going to copy this. Unfortunately, I don't think I can make this into a spline where I could do a curve. I think I would have to use something like Affinity Designer to do that. Yeah. So I'm going to say, well, it's the inside that needs to get glued. Something like that. And Control V. Maybe another Control V because I want one that I can mess around with untouched. So this one's going to be glued. Let's go right here. So that little white border, makes a little separation between, so I can move this arrow, Control Z. I can move this arrow on top of a gray piece, and there's a little white border outline around the arrow. Something like this. Maybe I should put some text also saying like glue inside of the tube. Yeah, I don't want to put too much text. I want to keep this as international as possible, so I don't want to rely too much on wording. Apply glue inside of the tubes. Maybe I should say apply glue to interior of the tube. I don't know. Well, let's just try this. Okay, so I want to copy these things. I would copy for that. I want to say copy and paste. Okay, paste that there. Okay. Or maybe better yet, it would work better. Apply glue to inner ring, because it's the inner ring that really needs to get glued. And I want to make that clear. Apply glue to inner ring. So in this case, all I have to do is just use one graphic. Something like that. And then I could get rid of this graphic on top. Oh, what's going on? Oh, it crashed. Man. Start Affinity Publisher again. It crashed. Arr. So what? The new version crashes? File open recent Harpoon system. Open recovery file. Our recovery file exists for Harpoon system. Do you want to? Yes. And let me share it. Share screen. Share screen. Window. Finish it. Publisher. Some of your link resources. Okay, let's just go to Resource Manager. Some of it says missing fonts. Why? Oh, maybe the text for glue, don't glue, that kind of thing. Aha, so look at that. So copy, paste, put it here, zoom in, and put the text back. Wrong tool, I need to do this one. Apply glue to inner ring. Okay, now I'm going to save it. Guess I'm going to save more often. This, I'm going to put it right about there. Right about there. Maybe make it a little bit thicker. Okay, let's try that. Get rid of these. Let me zoom out. Zoom in a little bit. Okay, so move this away, right here. Save it again. Okay. I'm going to change. Can I change this to 15? Yeah. Up. Control Z. Okay. Move this a little bit closer. That's good. Closer still. Should I make this with kind of boxed? Something like this. Color. Let's go swatches. The outline being black. I just want to switch it. The inside being transparent. Corners round 10%, 15. %. Something like this. This is where I have fun. You know, it might take longer than the time I want to allocate for this video, because it is a lot, you know, to go in. I'm going to change the style to this. Center vertically like that. Yeah, that should be good. Up. And let's something like that. Save. But does this make sense? Do I want this to be black, a black border, or 50% gray? Because if I remember correctly, the outline for this arrow here is 50% gray. So will it make it look like it's something like this? Yeah, it kind of does, huh? Something like that. Say launch tube assembly. It comes with 2 tubes. So really this should be repeat this twice. So maybe I should put it right here. Oh, come on. Or instead of maybe I'll do like this. Watch. Maybe this is, redundant right now at times 2. But maybe I don't need to say repeat this step twice. Maybe I could just. Maybe that's good enough. Okay, I'm going to copy these. Copy, delete. And I'm just going to paste just out of my way right here. And do this. Times 2. Yeah, like that. Instead of capital X, keep it lowercase. I like doing stuff like this. It's part of the creative process. It's almost like documentation, and I like doing documentation. Working as a programmer, I enjoy doing documentation on my routines because it helped me maintain focus of what that routine had to do. And of course, proper documentation is always good for other programmers so they know what you were trying to do. Okay, launch tube assembly 2. And here it's a little bit different. The location where to glue. Control Z. all of this to get associated. So that should be the middle. So I want to say copy, paste. I want to indicate where to glue. I want to say this should be optional right here. This, and then layer, ungroup, copy, paste. I'm going to say optional. And I want to save this. Now I'm getting paranoid. Saving often. Copy this line. Copy, paste. Maybe that arrow is a little bit too thin. 2 millimeters. This should be good enough on the page. Yeah, 2 millimeters. This should be thick enough. I'm going to zoom into this. I want to reduce the, let's say 12. Well, make it 13.5. Take it out a little bit. $14.5. I guess make it 16. Control Z. $16. And I can make a little box around all of this. I'm going to do rounded. I'm going to do gray 50%. Maybe I don't want it rounded. Something like that. Let's group this so we keep it all the same. Layer, group. So now this is fused into one object. So the idea here is that that green is optional. It could be glued or it could stay unglued. Is that it's up to the person. It's in my experience with this, These little bumps on the tube kept the tube in place. I didn't have to actually glue anything to there. So what I did have to glue are these things. So let me do that. So let me get glue icon and arrow icon, arrow, just the arrow, and go back here. Paste. I want to say glue, copy, paste. What I want to glue is this section here. Say 59, let's 15.9, let's try 12. Let's try 10. And let's do copy and paste. Can I do no, Control Z. I was just wondering if I could make the background of the image opaque. Maybe it just might be easier to just make a box. Have the box simply with a white background. I wonder how this will look. And let's see. I want to move it back one. Something like this. And move this one forward one. And then get rid of the white, the gray borders, make white. Yeah. I think what I want to do here, can I indicate what needs to get glued even more? Can I do this? Suppose I want it in black, the border. I want to do I suppose this won't have a white border around it, so I'll make this one the white center transparent. Control Z. Something like this. No, I don't think it's necessary. I'll get rid of it. I'll make it more okay. So let's try that. Zoom out. And save. And what I want to do here also is to kind of indicate how these things are going to be. Let me try copy this arrow, paste it, move it to here, make it smaller. And I think I want to copy this arrow, copy, save this again, zoom in right here, and paste that arrow. Maybe, yeah, paste the arrow. I don't think I could make this arrow into a series of dots. I would love to do that, but I haven't found how to do that in this software yet. Okay, that's good enough. Copy, paste. 14. Yeah, something like that. But I wish, can I make it dotted? Okay, saving it again. Let's highlight this. Let me just copy. Can I change the visuals on that? Oh, I guess I can convert it to something like a multi-point line, but I don't want to do it right now. Basically, make a spline. Well, I know I could do that with Affinity Designer, which is a different kind of program, but works the same way, has a similar layout. So maybe asking something like this on the Facebook Affinity Publisher group would be the way to go to find out if I can make these arrows into a dotted line. I'll do that later. Fill mode, winding, even odd, layer effects. Stroke, fill. No. So I will ask the Facebook group for Affinity Publisher if there's a way to do that. Okay, so zoom out further. Get to see the whole thing. Okay. Glue to there. Okay. And I guess I need to do similar. Let me just copy these arrows and copy all these. Yeah. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to group this as a group right here. Layer, group. Oh, layer, ungroup. because I want to copy. So and then just paste this. Control. Let me just delete it. Copy and paste. Okay, I got both of them. Yeah, it's right here. Okay. And the same thing. Paste. Okay, something like that. Okay. I guess I'll copy these. Copy. And save this again. Paste. Let's indicate that this is optional and paste this again that this is optional. Yeah, I should do also another line to separate. Yeah, something like this. Okay, so yeah, so this makes a little bit more sense. Times 2. I'll zoom in. Optional and definite optional. What I want to show too is the finished look. Yeah, step 2 completed. Okay. Step 2 completed. I really don't know what these things should be called. I guess I'm going to have to research a little bit. Okay, so I want these things. I want to copy this. Copy. Delete. So I do think I need to divide further these steps. Step 1A, step 2B, step 1A, step 1B, step 1C. Yeah, like this should be A, B, and C. So let me paste the glue stuff here. Okay, I guess there. I guess I put it right there off the side. And I should probably say, just use a regular text box. Just make it big. A, and then make it big. 24 is okay. What size is this? 15, huh? I think I should make this into a fancier little box. Let me do, oh, that's, well, yeah, Control Z. Artistic tool. I guess I need to specify A like that. And this one, okay, kind of like this box. Hey, look at that, the A fits right inside. So what's the dimensions? 20, basically 20 by 20 millimeters. Okay, so let's make a box 20 by 20 millimeters. Come down here, go 20. I haven't looked at comments. Let me take a quick look. I haven't. Okay, I got nothing there. We'll check Facebook. Okay. Okay, no comments. I'm going to make this translucent, transparent. And the border, we'll go 50%. And I want to do a little text box here on top. Like I say, step 2. Okay. I'm wondering, can I simply... Oh, that changed the text. Well, I can do this. I can make another little box. I guess 6.2 by 20. I can say the border gray. I could say the interior also gray, 50%. And then I can move it back one. And then the text on top, I can make the text white. Yeah, step 2. So like that. And then I can say group. Now I can group this as one object. And then I can copy this. Copy. Paste. Step 2. Call this one B. Maybe it should be gray text even on this. We'll see. I guess I'm going to have to move this to the other side. Well, where can I put this? Something like that. Z. Okay, something like that. Same thing here. Or I could do it like this. Control C. And make this one 20 millimeters long. Something like that. Well, there's a lot of dead space there, huh? Just do the same thing, I suppose. Five. Oh. 30. So it does take time, you know? You do a little bit here, a little bit there, and next thing you know, hours have passed. Okay. I want to group this picture together. Layer, group. I want to group this picture together with those arrows. Layer, group. And the same thing here. I want to group this picture with those arrows. Layer, group. Now I also want to group this, layer group. Okay, and this is all probably, well, let me do this. Copy, paste, down. And call this one C. I don't know, maybe the A is kind of big. $63. 64, 60. I can go 48. And these two. I could just say 48 as well. I guess I gotta block in 48 and Control C, Control V. $48. Okay. Control Z. Control V. Okay. And this one. Like that. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Dead center for that object. Okay. There, like that. And then layer group. Good. Good. Okay. So let's go to the next. Okay, so step 3 is going to be with either. So I'm going to call this one step 3 launch to assembly. I'm just going to say times 2, and I'm going to give some additional instruction. Let's do it in white text. Okay. Uncover. Missile component. Okay, let's see. I am going to do, first of all, this one needs to be glued. Copy, paste. Okay. And I'm going to also paste this because this needs to get glued. Yeah, like that. And let me go up to this one. Control Z. This part is I'll just use this. Copy, paste. Okay. Copy. Because I reduced the size, I don't want to have to do it over again. So I'll keep that there. Okay. So this one, let's see, it's optional. For the cover. Yeah, there. Okay. Step 3, launch tube assembly. Missile component is optional. Okay, so let me just put this up. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to do the arrows now. Let me save this. I'll say copy, paste. Zoom into here. And I want to call this, what is it, about 12, length of 12 millimeters. Maybe more like 9 millimeters. 6 millimeters. Do I need to indicate where to glue? 15, 11. Okay, so yeah. That's how it's going to look there. Okay, I think I want to lock these into a group. This is not a rear view. Okay. Layer, group. Okay, now Control V. So I want to indicate that this piece goes into that area, into the tube. And this one should be about 17, I think. Maybe instead of dotted lines, maybe I can do like some sort of gray. Yeah. Maybe I can make this into some sort of gray. Let's say it's group. I look for that arrow, which is this one. And I could say, what was that? I was using 35. Yeah, I think I was using 35. Yeah, 35. Okay. And what do I want to glue here? I want to glue Control V, paste. Well, so glue that. Control V. And I guess I want to indicate the slide this to there. Something like that. I think I'll make this sharper instead of maybe 5. And let's zoom out. Okay. Save. So, see, does this make sense? Step 3, launch tube assembly. Part 2. Covers. Missile component is optional. Okay. So I want to have And this one here. Does this make sense? I guess this should be over here. Oh, look, missile cone assembly optional. Okay, delete this. So then I want to move this up. Oh, Control Z, Control Z. This must be a big picture, long picture. It must have a lot of white space. Okay. Now I want to have an arrow that goes down. Can I just grab here? Yeah, copy. And paste. Control V. Okay, now I want to, let's move this down. Launch tube assembly. Still have to indicate ×2. This one still needs to indicate ×2. Okay. Step 3. Save. Okay, I think I want to do so an arrow indicating here that goes to there, no glue. I want to indicate arrow to here, pointing down to the beam, glue and glue. Arrow, 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 glue, 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 glue. Same thing here. Glue, 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 glue. So let's do copy. Let's zoom in. Paste. It is over here. No glue. Let's make this 35%. Yeah. Make this 10. Less than that. Six. Okay. No glue. Where's the icon for no glue? Copy, paste. I want to make this into a group. Wow. Front view. Layer, group. Okay, I think I get rid of this front view. And the front view, front cover attached. I don't think I need to write anything. Okay. Step 3 completed. Okay, I want to have a bunch of arrows. Copy. Paste. I think time is really going quickly this week. Because yesterday I was talking about getting the the day before yesterday. I was talking about getting the shooting range, make that available. And tomorrow's already Friday. Wow. So 10 down, up there. So I gotta make it more like 5. Shift. So copy, paste. Let's make 7 millimeters. 5. 6. Okay, so this needs a blue icon. Copy. 1 icon. In blue. Okay. I guess I have to go back and take a look and see. Do I need to indicate where it's going to be glued, or just put the icon nearby? Like here, for example, the way I would do it, I would glue the peg and I would glue the surface of all of this. But you could either do the peg with glue only, or the surface with glue only, or a dot here or a dot there of glue. Doesn't have to be the whole thing. I guess I'll just leave it up to the person to decide how much glue to use and precisely where. Unless, of course, the part really, really needs a precise indication of where. So that's there. So then here, let's go paste. For the glue, it's also going to be glue. And then I have to come up here also and specify glue. Okay. And then I need to get more arrow. Okay. Copy. Paste. Okay. And I'm going to paste it again. Okay. So this one to make this one 20. Rotate it. Control Z. Copy. Control Z. Paste. And make this one to like 16. Control V. Twelve, 13, 14. Paste. So 14, 10, 12, 7.5. Yeah, that looks okay. And then this to here. Let's make this 12. 15. Okay, and then copy this. Copy. Paste. Paste. Make this shorter, about 10. About 9. Control V. Okay, that should be good there. Maybe make this shorter. Seven. Nah, go ahead and make it 15. I guess, what was it before? 14? Maybe more like 13. Lucky 13. And let's save before anything. Zoom out. No, so this is all a group. So I can make this into another group. Same thing here. Make this to another group. Layer group. Are these groups? No. Just gonna make this into a group. Well, not yet. Well, yeah. Let's make this into a group. Not the arrow. Not the big arrow. Layer, group. Something like that. And let's make this into a group. Layer, group. And this one could be there. So then now I can make this into a group. Layer, group. And layer, group. Also do this twice. Times 2. Times. Now this part does not have to be done twice. Okay, moving on. Should I indicate step 4 complete? I suppose. Keep some consistency. Do I actually really need to? Maybe not. Because you wouldn't get to, for example, step 3, you wouldn't get to step 4 without first getting to here. Yeah, okay. I'll go back and fix those others. Step 5. I'm getting a little tired. I'm thinking I'm thinking of continuing this tonight. 2:21. Wow. Okay, what I will do is I'll continue to the bottom of the hour. And then I have to call it quits. So what I'm going to do then is, because this has to go out like ASAP, what I will do then is tonight I will finish this up. And I will just make another video going through the not the steps, but going through what I did. Basically a summary from the beginning to the end. And so if you have no interest in seeing step by step, which is fine, because it is draining. I am tired. It is exhausting. Not extraneous, but it is exhausting, and I guess it can be extraneous if you're trying to keep a quick pace. After all, it is work. It's not a game or something. So I will do a condensed version where I'm showing how it looks, and I'll just flip through. Maybe I'll read the verbiage and stuff like that again, but and that could serve on its own as a standalone video for the assembly on the Harpoon Missile System. Okay, folks, I am just going to continue to the bottom of the hour, and then I'm going to stop. Okay, so I need to move these things down. Copy. Paste. Control V. Control V. Okay. And looks like I am missing a step. Yeah, I'm missing a step. So how many pages left to go? I'm going to have to increase by 1 page. So I'm going to move everything down 1 page, leaving a gap between this page and the next. Paste. Because this top part doesn't have a graphic showing how it got there. So this is for the arrow, for the ladder. Maybe I'm thinking like this too. Maybe I can get rid of this one. Indicate that this goes to here. Because you see it down there. But people need to see, no, I'll keep it in. People need to see the finished item so they can compare or see what they're going to do. Okay, so I do need to move. So let me zoom out. Okay. I don't know what to do with this picture here. It shows a different view. I'll just move it off the side for the moment. And then all of this can come down about here. Okay. Do it again. All of this can come down here. Well, 3 minutes left to the bottom of the hour. Not really much time to do anything else. So I'll start wrapping up right now. I'll continue this tonight, and I'll finish it up tonight. Save. My Echo Show is showing me recipe for chai spice monkey bread. Monkey bread. I have no idea what monkey bread is. Okay, so this is where I leave off. Oh yeah, I need to do the borders. So if you missed it yesterday, adding borders, I guess I could do that in the next 2 minutes. So I could specify, oh, not there. I select the page like this, for example, and I can, second mouse button, I can specify apply master, choose master B, got a border. And I'll just go down to here. This one, apply master, choose master B, get a border. Same thing here. Apply master, master B, What happened to this side? Oh, okay. Strange. This one here. Flying Master. B. And this one. Flying Master and go B. So I'll have a page left over, so I got to think of something to put in the back. I don't know. Maybe I'll put a QR code and a few other links to DioWarriors store and all that. Or maybe, this will be wonderful, maybe I could find some information about a Harpoon system. And then I could just put some data. I don't know. We'll see. That's just going to take time. I don't want to take too much time. I may not do that for this project. I may just keep this one simple, get it out to the customer, and then come back in and then fill it in when I have additional time with some interesting stats about the Harpoon system. Yeah, something like that. We'll see. We'll see. I also have to think, do I want to do that for every item? What if it's a fantasy item that doesn't exist? You know, my version of an item. Like I showed a CWS 2 days ago, CIWS 2 days ago, a Phoenix system. And then I showed a fantasy version where I have a Phoenix type dome on a missile system. And of course, the missile system is, doesn't actually exist the way I have it. So, I would have to think of some fantasy statistics, fantasy stats, what type of missile, things like that. And, anyway, I'm too tired to think about stuff like that right now. Okay, folks, I saved, but I'm going to save again. Because, like I said, I'm getting paranoid that things are going to crash. And I'm going to just close this. Thanks for watching. Like I said, if you're just joining me or something, I am going to do a quick video tomorrow or so when I have the thing done. And I'll just go through the first page to the last page real fast. And instead of step by step like I was doing today. And so it'll be like a 5-minute thing, maybe even a 5-minute video. And but I'll do that tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be better rested tonight when I can work on extra verbiage and things like that. Okay, folks, thanks for joining me, and see y'all tomorrow. Have a great day. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Stuff like that helps. YouTube relies on an algorithm, so it helps. Okay, last, going to check any comments. I don't see any comments. Refreshing the Facebook thing. Okay. All right, catch y'all later. Hey, bye-bye.